Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. David De Gea has been named the Premier League's Player of the Month for January, becoming the first goalkeeper to win the award since 2016. David De Gea was key in Manchester United's wins against Brentford and Aston Villa away, because he made very good saves in them games. De Gea has won everything domestically at the football club. He's been superb this season. He's now back to his best. Earlier on this season, De Gea said he's planning to spend many more years at Manchester United. He's been a long servant as it is now, because this season has been his 11th season at Man United. De Gea's been with us since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. He's made over 500 appearances in all competitions. De Gea's contract at Manchester United expires next year. He receives £375,000 a week, so reflecting on that, is the second highest earner at the club, behind Cristiano Ronaldo. Revert back to last summer, David De Gea reclaimed the number one spot back, as he did decide to cut short his holiday by 2 weeks. Manchester United got David De Gea from Atletico Madrid back in 2011. I think we paid just over £17 million for him. Revert back to 2015, De Gea was close to making a move to Real Madrid on deadline day, but his move to Real Madrid didn't materialise due to a fax machine. So that's the news on David De Gea. Now, you already know the news on Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood is banned from Manchester United and England and won't be able to train or play any matches. On Wednesday, Mason Greenwood was released on bail after his arrest. He's been arrested twice for sexual assault, making threats to kill, rape and assault. Not so long ago, Mason Greenwood was removed from FIFA 22. Mason Greenwood's career at Manchester United is officially over, and his England career is officially over. It's disgraceful what Mason Greenwood has done. He's only the age of 20. Greenwood joined Manchester United at the age of 6. He broke into our senior squad back in 2019, and he's gone to make 129 appearances and he's scored over 30 goals. And last season he signed a 4-year contract. And on my last video I gave you the news on Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard has denied claims by boss Ralf Rangnick. That he is not available to play. I've been talking with you a lot about Mauricio Pochettino recently. There's a good chance he'll be Manchester United's next permanent manager. Pochettino is Manchester United's #1 choice. Pochettino has told his friends he will be leaving PSG in the summer. Reports from France recently said that Pochettino could be sacked by March. Pochettino's job hinges on PSG getting to the next round of the Champions League. PSG play Real Madrid in the last 16 of the Champions League. Not so long ago, PSG got knocked out of the French Cup by Nice, and that's put more pressure on Pochettino. PSG are looking at Zidane as a replacement for Pochettino. Earlier on this season it said PSG had agreed terms with Zidane. Pochettino's been PSG's manager for over a year. I think he's won a French Cup with them. His contract at PSG expires next year. I reckon if Man United appointed Pochettino as the new permanent manager, I reckon he'd do well. I think he'd suit the strappings of the club. He'd get the best out of these group of players. And he knows the Premier League well because obviously he's managed in the Premier League before, which is beneficial. Before, Pochettino endured a 5.5-year managerial tenure at Tottenham. Back in 2018, he got Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final. And at one point, he almost won the league when he was Tottenham manager. I think Tottenham made a mistake getting rid of him. Before Tottenham, he managed Southampton. He guided Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League, but he only enjoyed a short managerial tenure at Southampton. So they're the clubs he's managed in the Premier League so far, and before then he managed Espanyol. Revert back to when Manchester United sacked Jose Mourinho. Manchester United should have got Pochettino, but the club decided to go with Solskjaer instead. Erik ten Hag, he's been relentlessly linked with the permanent role at Man United. Earlier on this season, Rangnick said that he wants Erik ten Hag to become Man United's next permanent manager in the summer. And the other day it said Man United fans want Erik ten Hag to take the Old Trafford job instead of Mauricio Pochettino. I think if Erik ten Hag came to manage in the Premier League, he'd replicate what he's done at Ajax, because you've got to admire the work he's done at Ajax. He's developed a young players well. He's won a couple of titles with them. Revert back to 2019, he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals. And he's a young coach. He's been Ajax manager for over 4 years. Ajax appointed him in back in 2017. His contract at Ajax expires next year. I don't think he'll be signing a new deal at Ajax. Ajax is the 4th club he's managing in his managerial career. Before Ajax he managed Utrecht. Before then he managed Bayern Munich's reserves. And before then he managed Go Ahead Eagles. You know, Manchester United looking for the 5th permanent manager since Ferguson retired. Yeah. Ham sandwich. Like I say, Man United have sacked 4 managers since Ferguson retired. You know, Manchester United sacked David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, and last year Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after almost 3 years in charge. And Man United are not even really known as a sacking football club, because we haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers. Ralph Rangnick is Manchester United's interim manager until the end of the season, it's said, and then Rangnick's expected to take up a consultancy role for a further 2 years. Revert back to the other week though, it said Manchester United were considering offering Ralph Rangnick the job on a permanent basis. Because it said Man United had put their search for a new manager on hold after being impressed by Ralph Rangnick since he took charge in December. Rangnick so far has managed 10 games in all competitions. He's lost just 1 game so far, and he's had 5 wins from 8 league games at the moment, and he's progressed Manchester United to the 4th round of the FA Cup. Rangnick has been Manchester United's interim manager for almost 2 months. After the 1-0 win against West Ham before the international break, it apparently said that Rangnick will receive a £500,000 bonus if he leads Man United to a top 4 finish. Rangnick earns $180,000 a week at Man United. Well, Man United moved into the top 4, reflecting on that 1-0 win against West Ham before the international break. I'm hoping Man United can finish in the top 4 this season. I'm also hoping we can win a trophy, because Manchester United have not won a trophy since 2017. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. Before Man United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. Rangnick has endured 1 transfer window as Manchester United's interim manager. Man United endured a very disappointing January transfer window because Manchester United did not make any signings, and Manchester United wanted a midfielder because when Rangnick first got recommended in, he identified Manchester United's midfield as a weakness. Lingard and Henderson should have also left the club last month, but Manchester United blocked their exits. We had the incident with Mason Greenwood towards the end of last month. Man United though did loan quite a few players out. We loaned Donny van der Beek out to Everton. We also loaned Amad Diallo out to Rangers. We loaned Martial out to Sevilla. Ethan Laird went out on loan. Tiden Mengi went out on loan to Birmingham. And Tuanzebe went out on loan to Napoli. So I think about 8 players left Man United last month. But Rangnick was not backed at all, and he actually got promised that he was going to be backed. That got mentioned earlier on this season when it said, Rangnick was already under pressure, and he said that, he was already losing the dressing room at Man United, and it said that 17 Manchester United players were unhappy and wanted to leave. Rangnick, since he's come in, though, has made changes to his credit. Earlier on this season, he brought Ewan Sharp in as an assistant coach and analyst. He also brought Chris Armas in as an assistant coach, and he brought Sascha Lenz in as a sports psychologist. Not so long ago, Ed Woodward stepped down from Manchester United. That was good news from a Man United perspective because Ed Woodward was one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time. Ed Woodward was at Manchester United for around 17 years. Richard Arnold replaced Ed Woodward as Manchester United's new chief executive. Obviously the Glazers are still at the club. The Glazers have owned Manchester United for around 16.5 years. The Glazers bought Manchester United for 500 million back in 2005. been one of the biggest problems at the club for a long time. Revert back to April last year, Manchester United fans were protesting against the Glazers at the Carrington training ground and at Old Trafford because the Glazers were planning to scrap the Champions League for that European Super League. But in the end, the Glazers ended up apologising. That's what Solskjaer mentioned at the time when he was at Man United. Towards the end of last season, it said the Glazers were only willing to sell Man United, but for only £4 billion. Manchester United have not won the Premier League since 2013. A lot of players are going to depart the club, I reckon, in the summer. Edinson Cavani, he will leave. Cavani's out of contract at Man United in the summer. Revert back to earlier on this season, Ralf Rangnick revealed that Edinson Cavani wants to stay at Man United until the end of the season. Manchester United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020. River Plate are considering a transfer for Edinson Cavani in the summer to replace Julian Alvarez. Julian Alvarez is going to City, isn't he, in the summer? Cavani was linked with Barcelona last year. Well, last year actually said Cavani agreed to join Barcelona on an 18-month contract. Barcelona was seeing him as a replacement for Aguero because Aguero retired due to heart problems, and Juventus went in for Cavani last year, and last year Cavani rejected a move to Boca Juniors. Cavani's had a few injuries, by the way, for Man United this season. In the game against West Ham before the break, Cavani came off the bench and got the assist for Marcus Rashford's winning goal. Mata, he'll also leave the club this year. Mata's contract at Manchester United expires in the summer. Mata lost his place in the team a while ago, didn't he? Plus he's lost that yard of pace and he's aging up. But despite all of that, I reckon Mata's had a good career at Manchester United. Mata has made 276 appearances in all competitions and he's scored 51 goals. He's been at Manchester United for around 8 years, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. Manchester United got Mata from Chelsea back in 2014, got him for 37.1 million. Back in 2020, Mata rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. And if Manchester United fail to qualify for the Champions League, Cristiano Ronaldo will leave in the summer. That's what it mentioned earlier on this season. Plus, Ronaldo faces a 25% pay cut should Manchester United fail to qualify for the Champions League. 3 weeks ago now, Ronaldo gave an interview and he was very critical of the youngsters. So reflecting on that, he was demanding more from the youngsters, and Ronaldo was also backing Ralf Rangnick to do a good job. Ronaldo came out and said, "I'm not at Man United to compete for 6th or 7th. He said, "Finishing below 3rd is unacceptable." The other week, reports from Spain said that Ronaldo could be heading back to Real Madrid. Well, before, Ronaldo endured like 9.5 years at Real Madrid before he went to Juventus, and Ronaldo's already asked his agent Jorge Mendes to find him another club because quite clearly he's unhappy at Manchester United. Earlier on this season, Ronaldo was targeted by PSG. Ronaldo played against West Ham before the international break. To his credit, he did well. But prior to the game, he was a doubt because he actually picked up a neck injury, but obviously recovered from that. Ronaldo's had a few injuries since he re-signed. Don't forget, Ronaldo had that dispute with Rangnick because Ronaldo was furious for being substituted against Brentford, but Rangnick did come out and defend his decision to substitute Ronaldo against Brentford. Since Ronaldo re-signed, he's scored 14 goals in all competitions. He has over 800 goals in his career. Man United re-signed him last summer for 20 million with add-ons included. He wears a number 7 shirt. His contract at Manchester United expires next year. There's an option to extend for a further year, and Ronaldo receives £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United at the moment. He's won over 30 trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. Lingard, he'll also leave the club in the summer, but Lingard should have left in January. Like I said earlier on, Man United blocked his exit. It was Newcastle and West Ham that would try to get Lingard in January. Matic, he'll also leave the club as well in the summer. If Rangnick doesn't get the job permanently, Pogba I think will leave in the summer. Jones and Bailly will also leave the club in the summer, and Man United will look to get rid of Dean Henderson permanently. He should have also left in January. If Donny van de Beek does well at Everton, I can see Everton getting him on a permanent basis. There is no option to buy in the loan deal, by the way. Martial, if he does well at Sevilla, I can see Sevilla getting him permanently. And same thing with Amad Diallo. If he does well at Rangers, I think he'll leave permanently. Amad Diallo recently scored on his Rangers debut. Like I updated you not so long ago, we've got quite a lot of players' contracts that expire next year, and Manchester United could lose up to 15 players to free contracts over the next 18 months. So there guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.